Hello there, and welcome to the How to Market Your Horse Business podcast. I'm so glad you're joining me here today. If you're new friends here, or if you're a new friend to the podcast, I'm going to quickly introduce myself and then we're going to jump right in. Today is actually a power episode because I wasn't fully intending to record an episode this week, but I got inspired and I thought I wanted to get this out to you because, especially with the holidays and holiday sales and Black Friday sales emails and all of those things, I thought this was a really timely message I wanted to get into your hands. Or into your earbuds or your ears, however you want to say it. So as I said, quickly introduce myself and then we're going to jump in. All right, so my name is Denise Alvarez, and through my business, Storm Lily Marketing, I get to help horse business owners like yourself to grow your business with clarity and confidence and purpose. Now, I do this primarily through business coaching, and then I have education such as this podcast and some online learning resources for you as well. All that I do is so that you, as an equestrian entrepreneur, can be out in the barn or in the arena, the pasture, at the computer, behind the camera lens, wherever it is that you are serving the equine industry. I want to help you do more of that. So here on this podcast especially, you'll get a mix of step-by-step strategies, essential how-tos, and entrepreneurial mindset shifts that will help you not only see what's possible for your business, but I'm also here to guide you through that process so you can make it happen. And today we're going to do that by way of talking about sales. I know not everybody's favorite, not everybody loves to sell, yet the reality is, as an equine business owner, if you are not selling anything, you are most likely not a profitable business. And that means it's not sustainable. And my goal here in helping you do more of what you love is to build a sustainable equine business. So if you're listening to this because your sales have hit a plateau, or maybe you've noticed that people are just not buying like they used to, then I am so glad you're here. I'm going to share two things with you that I think could be missing and that can help you in this season. So why did I start to feel like we needed to record this now? Well, actually, I saw a post on LinkedIn and somebody was talking about how people say that malls are dying. And there's a creator that has been doing some unique things to bring people into a particular store at the mall. And she was talking about the creativity of that. And as I looked at that, the two things that I saw that were missing is what I want to share with you. But when I looked at that, what I also saw is this concept around people saying malls are dying, so surely that means people aren't shopping in person. Or my digital program isn't selling like it used to, so that must mean people aren't buying. I'm hearing about this idea of a trust recession. Maybe that's why my sales are down. The golden era of post-COVID online education is now gone, and sales are just going to be harder. And a lot of that, honestly, it sits around some mindset, but it's also this idea of realizing, okay, yep, sales can be harder in some ways, for sure. It is true that if you've not Googled it or heard it yet, that we're in the middle of what they're calling a trust recession. And what does that mean? It means that buyers aren't clicking the buy button as quickly as they once were. It doesn't mean your offer is completely broken or your audience completely disappeared. What it does mean is that people have become more discerning. Just like, yes, malls have changed and shifted and things have shaped. And at the same time, people are buying in person at boutiques. There are some really thriving boutiques in my area. So people are buying in person, but it's changing. And when it comes to selling online, it's also changing, right? So in last week's episode 196, if you've not yet listened after today, you can go back and listen to that. We talked about being willing to pivot. And so this idea comes in together here because pivot doesn't mean you just toss out everything that you've been doing and completely change everything and say, none of this is working. I'm just going to change it all. That's not truly what pivoting strategically means. So today, what I want to talk to you about is before you make these life-changing, sometimes, pivots for your business, definitely business-changing pivots, or before you throw in the towel on some offers that are actually really helping people that just maybe need some tweaks, I'd like to encourage you to try this 2-part fix. I don't love the word fix, but truly, it may help fix some of your sales woes, okay? There's 2 necessary elements that I think could be missing for you that could put some new fire, some fresh fire, especially as you head into the holiday sales season and especially as you are planning for 2026. Okay, these 2 things are creativity and connection. And here's what I mean. First, creativity. Again, when we talk about this idea of a trust recession, what happened? People were oftentimes following formulas, right? You would see the headline, here's what I did, if you do what I did, you'll get this result. Now, granted, that can be very effective marketing, 100%. But if you don't get some creativity to really craft something that is specific to your business, your audience, and your voice, the heart behind why you do what you do, then clearly that's not going to work. And so oftentimes we see people having sales slumps because at a time, right? At a time, people were less discerning with what they were buying online. At a time, options were removed and you only had so many options, but that's different now. And so that may have worked for a season. But now, if you are lacking creativity in how you're selling, if you're lacking creativity in your marketing, then that could be why you've been experiencing a sales slump. So just a super simple example for you. When I say creativity, I don't mean if you're sitting there going, Denise, I'm not the creative person here. How do I do this? Okay, let me remove the pressure the pressure of feeling like you need to be a highly creative person to do this. I just mean don't copy and paste, right? I mean, look outside of the industry or the niche that you're in. See what other people are doing and adapt that to what you're doing with your own creative flair. Be you, right? Creativity at its heart. I love, if you've read Brene Brown's book, oh my gosh, Daring Greatly. It took me a minute. And then she had another one about the gifts of imperfection. The gifts of imperfection, she talked about the true heart of creativity is being uniquely you. Okay, so when you can be 100% you, whether you're quirky, whether you're serious, whether you're thoughtful, whether you're prone to really dive into the science and the details of things, whatever it is that is you, be that. Okay. Open yourself up to some what if questions or some why not questions. Like, allow yourself to have some of that freedom to be creative. Get rid of the lids that you've put on yourself, perhaps, or that other people have put on you that have stifled your creativity. Because once you start to open the doors and really allow yourself to think creatively, you'll be surprised what you can come up with. Again, I was about to tell you, I think a minute ago, about an example. One of my coaching clients, and this is a very practical example, you guys, like it doesn't have to be complicated. One of my coaching clients was preparing to do a free challenge. And so she was wanting to come up with some reels that would catch people's eyes and wanting to lean into her messaging and catch attention. And one of her premises is that the brain-body connection when it comes to writing is really what's most important when it comes to learning feel from her scientific physical therapist experience. Okay, so she's leaning into what her expertise is and what science says and what her experience has been in the saddle and what her clients have experienced. Okay, so oftentimes people will come to her frustrated because they're saying, right, I've done all the squats, all the planks, all the lunges, but that's not helping with my writing. Why not? And so she's able to dive into more about the neurology of it. Okay, she's a writer balance coach, if I didn't make that clear, for competitive dressage riders. So in this content session that we were having and talking about ideas, we talked about like doing a reel of her doing squats and counting up to, at the end, it's in the beginning, it says like she's counting and it's as if she's counted to 1,000 and then she's still not seeing a difference in her writing, right? Just a little touch of creativity. But what I want to tell you is by her doing that, her views, it went up dramatically compared to what she was getting before with the content she was creating because she brought a little creativity into it. Okay, so it doesn't have to be extravagant. It doesn't have to be this huge campaign. Just allowing yourself to be creative can open up some doors of opportunity when it comes to making sales. Okay, so number one, perhaps you have been lacking creativity. You've been creating on repeat, right? Rinse and repeat, but now that same thing's not working, get creative. Okay. Okay, the second thing that may be missing for you is connection. And when I say that, I mean human connection. We are wired for connection, you guys. That's how God made us. It was true when we were created. It'll be true as long as you're on this earth. We are wired for connection. And what often happens when it comes to selling is we forget that we are selling to people. And we forget to create opportunities for actual connection. Opportunities for people to feel heard, to feel seen, to feel connected to you as a business owner, to feel connected to your products and your services. So how do you bring that into selling? Some ideas, okay? This is not completely thorough list, but some ideas for you. Tell real stories. Tell stories of your clients and your customers. Let people see themselves in what you're creating. Tell your story. If you have a personal story connected to your business, connected to why you started your business in the first place, start telling your story so they can feel that connection to you. And consider putting your face in front of the camera. I know many of you are going, Denise, no thank you. I can face it the other way and take pictures of my horses, the pasture, the barn cat, whatever, all day long, but don't tell me to get in front of the camera. But here's the thing, you guys. People really do buy from people. Yes, they buy for transformations, and they buy from people. And so when your face is in front of the camera and they start to feel that connection with you, it truly can be the difference maker. Another way you can build connection is just having conversation. Okay, so whether you're at an expo, whether you're at a clinic, whether you're at home and you're saying, my people are all online, Denise, how do I do that? Invite them, open up a few slots a week and say, hey, I just want to chat with you. I want to hear about your horse story. I want to hear about what's going on. Obviously related to your products and services, but it's not a sales pitch opportunity in this case, right? It's a connection opportunity. So say, I've got 15 minutes. I would love to hear more about XYZ. Okay. And open it up, get on the phone. Zoom can be great. Video can be awesome, but you can also just make it super easy and get on the phone with them. But having those conversations is going to allow you to one-on-one connect with people. It's going to allow you to better understand where they are coming from as it relates to your products and your services. So it's going to then inform your marketing and your sales strategy. So do not lose touch with your people and keep that connection there, okay? All right, I told you this is going to be a power episode. So 2 things I just want you to consider, okay? Creativity and connection. How can you build that into your sales and your marketing campaigns as you're moving into the holidays, as you're moving into 2026? Creativity and connection, okay? Because again, yes, things are different. Buying looks different. But buyer psychology, the way people think about buying, that's actually not changing. The principles of marketing, that's actually not changing, right? Their behavior, buyer behavior changes over time. And so as a business owner, you get to put on your strategy hat and say, I'm built for this. I built this business. I've been growing this business. I'm going to continue to do it. And I'm going to evolve with my methods. And I'm going to keep the main thing. Okay. All right. So I hope this was so helpful to you. One quick thing before we go. Okay. I want to make sure that you know I have a brand new free mini workshop series coming up, and I would love to invite you to it. The 2026 Reset is your chance to pause, breathe, and realign before the new year begins. So over 3 short, powerful sessions, you will reconnect to the why behind your equine business. You'll refine the direction you're actually meant to go, where you want to go, and you'll realign your goals and your system so that you can build from a place of intention and purpose. Okay, so every 20-minute session is designed to give you simple but meaningful shifts. And let me just tell you this, as we talk about this idea of a trust recession, For those of you listening saying, Denise, I've sat in on the free workshops before and they just don't have the meat I expected. I promise you, just like this podcast is meaty, my goal is always for it to be meaty and to give you action and practical steps to take. That's how I approach my free workshops. Anytime I have done a free workshop, I've done goals training, I've done trends webinars, I've done different things. And I am always approaching it from the perspective of, if this is the only thing you attended and participated in, would you have something to apply in your horse business today? Okay. So I promise you, it is a free workshop. It is free and there is value in it. And yes, in that workshop, I will tell you now, because I have been talking about our new group coaching program. I absolutely will be giving you an invitation to be a part of that and sharing about that for the first time inside of the workshop. So yes, I will be telling you about that. But before we ever get to that point in the workshop, you will have some concrete things to apply to your equine business. That's always my goal. That is my heart. It is value packed for you. Okay. So whether this year felt overwhelming, unfocused, or just fine but not fulfilling, I invite you to join me in the reset so that you can feel clear and confident instead. Head over to LILY.com/reset to save your seat today and join me live so you can rediscover your spark, refine your focus, and set yourself up for a year of aligned growth. Now, I say join me live. I want to see you there live, as many as you can be there, okay? December 3rd, 4th, and 5th. But depending on when you're listening to this episode, I will have limited time replays available because I get that horses and horse businesses are unpredictable. So there will be replays available for a limited time. So of course, depending on when you happen to be listening to this episode, if you go to stormlily.com/reset, you can get all of the information there, save your seat, watch us or join me live, watch the replay, and get ready for an amazing 2026. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this quick power episode. I do encourage you to sit as you think about your sales and strategies, think about that creative piece, think about that connection piece, and share this with a friend if it was helpful, because I want to see all of you equine businesses excelling as we finish out 2025 and head into 2026. Have an amazing day, friends.